Let's talk about a really important and fascinating aspect of the detoxification process. As I was sitting in the sauna, the infrared sauna, about 30 minutes ago, this concept started to arise for me where I started to map back all the experiences that I had through cleansing, through reformatting my digestion, through the different pains and traumas that I've experienced, the challenges that I've experienced with different types of body work, like neuromuscular release therapy with my roommate Micah here, and different things like that. Things that I've had to endure in order to heal myself. Literally, all the different challenges that each person will encounter on the detoxification path. And so that's what I want to share with you here, is that there's a price to pay in order to play the game of vibrant and unlimited health, right? In order to really achieve the health that we want in our life, the vibrancy and the vitality that is available to us, there's a price to pay. And that price is going to be different depending on the different accumulation of experiences and indiscretions that we have compounded over our lifetime, right? So one of the things that came up for me was that when I'm doing a fast, when I'm doing a cleanse, there's different times where it's a little more intense than others. Different stuff is coming up. We're getting to a new depth of residue that wants to be uncovered. It wants to be excavated from my physical structure and released, essentially. And sometimes in that process, your body has to dig down deeper than it ever has, and that can cause pain. That can cause physical pain. That can cause emotional traumas to be released where they have been stored in different regions of the body's tissues, and you need to be prepared for that. And just to have the proper consciousness and attitude when you go into a cleanse, or when you go into neuromuscular release therapy or Maori work, if you ever have the opportunity to do that, or Rolfing or something deep tissue, body tissue work, something to that extent where you're literally going to be opening up old wounds. And you have to go through the pain. And essentially what that pain is just the sins that we've created in our life. And I just use that word non-dogmatically, I don't really have a specific interpretation for that word other than it's the indiscretions that we've placed upon ourselves. It's the traumas that essentially are self-inflicted and haven't fully healed. And we have to actually experience that trauma in order to completely release it, right? It's like the old adage, you have to face it in order to erase it. And that's the misconception about health technology and about the healing process that a lot of people don't fully grasp until they fulfill an experience that gives them that experience, I guess you want to say, is that until you've had that experience, you can't fully appreciate the healing process. And so when you're working with other people, it's really easy, or it's a lot easier to empathize and then also to have compassion for another person as they're going through their healing process. Because, you know, it's one thing to have an immediate experience of this trauma and then to let it go from our life, to stop holding on to it, to release it. And it's quite another to numbify ourselves from that trauma, to just keep storing it, to keep stuffing it, to keep covering it up, to numb ourselves from that signaling that the body is sending out at any given moment. And over time, what will happen is that it's going to manifest itself into some overt form of illness, disease, imbalance, whatever you want to call it, a neurodegenerative breakdown or some kind of physical breakdown of some sort. And I just always felt like it's better to speed up that process. It's better to let all that carcinogenic toxicity release itself out of my pores or out of my colon through a colonic or something like that, or to have some body work done where that stuff can be broken down. All that crystallization in the tissues can be broken down and released out that way. It's better to go through that than to have it get stored over time and then turn into a metastasis, to turn into a tumor, to turn into a digestive infection or something like that, and acidification in the system, right? It's better to just speed up the healing process in a way that is manageable, in a way that pushes you just enough to fully experience that trauma to the point where you make a conscious decision that you're not going to go back to the ways of the old. You're not going to go back to old behaviors and keep playing out the perpetual loop of sickness. You are going to make a change right here and now. And that, I always felt like that was just the right approach to go. And you'll have to feel that out for yourself. And when you're advising clients that you're working with, but going through that process is one of the most profound things that you can do. And that's kind of the psychology of detoxification. And there's different ways to set up your fasting or cleansing experience to help you maintain focus, clear intention, and sovereignty of your mind and spirit, so you're not being swayed by these different temptations and coping mechanisms down the path.